everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Today I'm going to be looking at Jaina and talking about how I like to play her and her strengths and weaknesses and kind of where she is. I think this is a particularly interesting game as well. I'm recording this like Sunday morning, probably put this video out on Monday, but the video I've planned to come out later today is like a Sylvanas video where we're playing with lower ranked people on this map, so I thought it'd be kind of cool. I'm not sure what sort of response that video will get. I thought it'd be cool to kind of compare this video with that video and put stuff in perspective. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I thought it was an interesting game here anyway. Jaina is a weird hero, I feel, at the moment. I'm somewhat baffled by her, to be honest, because I've played quite a lot of Jaina. But Jaina's pretty weak, I would think, overall at the moment. That's kind of my impressions of her. She sees almost no play in pro play either. She's just not that fantastic. However, she still has an insanely good win rate across nearly all levels of Hero League play. Not sure about Grandmaster. I presume it would fall off there, but even up to Master, she's pretty good. And that does somewhat surprise me. It really does. So we'll try to unpack that as we go through this video. We'll see what things work well and what things don't. Remember here, this gets kind of unfortunate because our Tannis blade dashed. I probably should have realized from the first time. He did the same thing on the first minion wave. But he's kind of focused, unfortunately, on his own wave clear as well. So we're not able to actually place our blizzard right. His blade dash there broke aggro on the first minions and then stopped aggroed and stopped the ranged minions. He even got shot by the fort as well. So our blizzard ended up pretty much completely missing, which is real bad. This is an interesting start to the game because this is like a big base trade right at the start. Unfortunately, Malthael died at the start, which is why we're behind in XP. And this is a little bit rough. I'd say at this point we'd want the Malthael to stay and soak that XP. There, okay, he's staying perfect. We're gonna go back. I did a video on Tyrael recently too, and people were saying, man, Tyrael's got so many mana problems though. You don't know mana problems till you play Jaina. Jaina's got a lot more mana problems, let me tell you. She has an awful lot more in terms of mana problems. One of the big things and one of the big reasons is that to get the most value out of Jaina, you kind of want to be chaining your abilities together as much as possible. This is because of her traits, so your abilities do 50% more damage when you hit a target that's slowed by a previous ability cast. So you kind of want to, you do want to space things out a little bit. You want to stagger abilities. You want to be considering proccing that frostbite as much as and as often as possible, just to get a bit more value. Here I'm doing something, I'm kind of bursting a bit of extra damage onto that wave just to try to clear it out so that we can get onto that Sonya quicker and get her killed. Pretty interesting matchup, I feel, for Jaina against Sonya, where Jaina has lots of burst damage and the slows might be enough to kind of counter the Sonya a little bit, but then at the same time Sonya with Berserker, for example, will reduce the duration, I believe, of all of Jaina's slows on her. So that's kind of, and the root from a Ring of Frost too. So I figured that's a really interesting matchup where there's kind of pros and cons to both particular sides. But yeah, in this game you'll see me doing things like, again, trying to chain the abilities together as much as possible and lay down, you know, zoning blizzards. That's a nice push by the Alarak, knock enemies, minions into the blizzard so it gets taken out. And I think this is a really interesting game so far because we've had like this base race and kind of crazy stuff like that going on. I do spec into the Frostbolt build, but I feel like there are other builds as well which are pretty viable. So the Frostbolt build, we take increased range on Frostbolt, Winter's Reach at level 1. Level 4 we take Frost Shards, they pierce, and then level 7 we take Ice Lance. When we hit a chill target, so something that's already slowed, with our Frostbolt, it halves the cooldown and restores 10 mana, which is not quite half the mana cost, but it's a good chunk of mana cost. If we hit 2 targets with our Frostbolts with them piercing, we can get 20 mana back, which is tons. So that's a very powerful sort of selection of talents, I feel. It gives you a lot more single target damage. It also gives you more consistent poke damage. And it's pretty good overall. That being said, I'm kind of going for it on this map. There are maps where you might consider like Arcane Intellects at level 4, especially if you don't need the Pierce. That basically removes all of your mana problems forever, which is fantastic. There may be something to be said for Fingers of Frost, which is the Regen Globe Collection talent at level 1, which increases your mana regen, and then eventually the damage bonus from Frostbite. Could be something to be said for that. It's hard to say though. I find it can be somewhat difficult then. You have to be up against a very particular enemy comp to make that work. because Jaina is actually quite short range then once you have that. Like Blizzard is fairly short range to catch, Cone of Cold, your E is very short range, and then your Frostbolt, your Q is a travel time. So you are in effect a rather short range mage, so that's something that's definitely worth considering. One of the big things I think makes her so strong in Haunted Mines though, is that you absolutely decimate merc camps. You do so much damage to mercs, and mercs are so crucial on this particular map. She also's got pretty good single target damage against bosses and things like that as well. Right there, we're going to use our basic attack to smash the healing totem. Then try to lay down the Blizzard in such a way. There's a beautiful pull by Alarak, actually pulls a couple of members back in. And you can see here the cooldown reduction on our Q, helping us pick off the Sonya. A couple of basic attacks at the end, actually, as she ducks behind some minions. We get the kill there. But love that. Really great play, Cascon on the Alarak. Really nice play from him there. Synergizing, like instead of just... I think this is crucial, right? I feel like the Artanis in the game, a couple of times we've seen him kind of use his abilities without any consideration at all of my setup as the Jaina, whereas you can see with Alarak, he's very much focused on that. And there's been a couple of times where he's just used his push instead of setting up his own combo to just enhance our combo, which is pretty good. Right here, this is a bit chaotic, right? So we do have a level advantage, but the enemy team is kind of trying to dive us near their keep, and there's 5 of them. Our Artanis is back at our base, defending there. So just using that Ring of Frost preemptively. It's not that huge of a loss, really. It will definitely be back up before they get level 10. So that is a kind of a situation of better safe than sorry. Let's just burn the ring so that we can definitely get out. It's kind of like an anti-risk ring, as it were. And with that, we're going to make our way over to more merc camps. We already have 56 skulls, which is a real nice lead, so we don't really particularly have to worry about collecting skulls anymore. You can see against this siege camp, I'm positioned to the side so that my piercing frostbolt will go through the 2 siege giants. And we probably walk away ahead in terms of mana by the time we've killed these guys, getting a bit of mana back every time we use our Q. Or well, it only costs us 10 mana to cast the Q, and then we get the regen globe. So it's not too bad actually in terms of mana costs, and we kill that stuff so fast. Keeps the enemy team on a bit of a back foot, at least that's the theory. ETC's pretty far out, that's a great W by him, actually probably saved his life there. Because we would have got I was going in to hit him with my Cone of Cold, my E, and then follow up with stuff. It is one of the challenging things about this build is you have to make a big decision sometimes on when you're going to use your Q. Obviously with Ice Lance, we get half cooldown on our Q when we hit something that's already chilled. And crucially, your chill by default lasts 4 seconds. And the cooldown on your Q Frostbolt is 4 seconds. Which means that you cannot proc Frostbite on your Qs if you're only using Q alone, right? If I hit him with Q, he's chilled. When I hit him with the next Q, the chill will have just faded off. So basically with this build, with the Ice Lance talent at level 7, what you can do is you can just spam Qs on someone once they're chilled. So for example, we go up, we hit someone with their E with our Cone of Cold, we can just spam Qs into them and be 2 second, 2 second, 2 second. Each one will proc the 50% bonus damage, and it'll all be fantastic, it'll all be good. Huh, he actually killed the wall with a push. That's pretty cool. Artanis died. I think he died to the big golem. Rest in pieces, brave warrior. We'll go finish off these. Whoops. A noble sacrifice, if ever there was one. Level 10, I do pick up Ring of Frost. I actually think Water Elemental's not bad. I'm a fan of Water Elemental. It has like Winter Mute. Its upgrade at level 20 is like crazy. It's by far her best 20, I think. But the Water Elemental, I don't know. It's kind of one of those hit or miss things where it's hard to tell sometimes which one's better. Right there, again, that's a bit of a zoning ring, right? Look, ETC gets in on our teammates. We're trying to drop that ring to sort of minimize the effect that the enemy team has in terms of going in on top of us. Like, I didn't particularly care about hitting ETC, but placing that ring down to try to scare off their damage dealers as much as possible. I would say, actually, with the ring, it might be worth not quick casting it or quick cast on release. Just to get it a bit more consistent. Here, for example, I kind of am worried about ETC escaping. You can see I did my abilities in the wrong order there, where we hit him with our Q, then our E. Would have been way better to hit him with our E, then the Q, get the cooldown reduction, get the mana return, yada yada. So yeah, these are things that are really, really worth considering. At level 13, I go for Icy Veins. Ice Barrier is really good as well, though. So Ice Barrier gives you a shield for 25% of all damage you deal with abilities to your chill target. So every Frostbite proc gives you a 25% damage shield off what you did. Pretty decent. I prefer Icy Veins. So Icy Veins makes your abilities recharge 300% faster, which is insanely fast, and halves their mana cost for 5 seconds. So it just lets you output a whole ton of damage in a relatively short window. It can be a surprising amount of burst. And in this particular game, I'm not too worried about them actually getting in on top of me. Like, yeah, sure, they have in a different setup. I'd be pretty scared of them actually damaging me as Jaina. Like, they got dive with Sonya, Rhaegar's a divey support. They got Greymane, they've got a Li Ming, ETC. Like, they have a lot of dive, but then again, we've got like 4 melee heroes that are in front of us, so I'm not particularly worried. And you know, they'll be diving into a Counter-Strike, into Tormented Souls. Artanis actually didn't take blinds, he took the laser beam. But still, I'm feeling like I should be safe enough, and doing a little bit of extra damage might be crucial here. So yeah, I usually go for Icy Veins. One of the other big things that will affect your playstyle as Jaina is your level 16 talent choice. Usually you're going to go for Northern Exposure, which makes your Cone of Cold, your E, apply vulnerability for 2 seconds, 25 armor reduction, which again incentivizes you to open up as much as possible with your E, and then to follow up your abilities based off of that. You see there, we're looking for a flank. We're seeing, will the enemy team overextend when they go too far? Li Ming is actually kind of aware of that. She's throwing some orbs in that away, kind of lucky it didn't hit. We'll take it, we'll take it. And with this, again, I don't want to get too close. Just going to drop the Blizzard there. Might be a bit of a waste. Missed the Q on the second go around. These minions are basically dead. We're just trying to push in these Siege Giants as far as we can. It's a pity we don't have a Merc Lord hero on our team. I'd say that Jaina Sonya would be like an insane combo on this map with Merc Lord. You could maybe get Jaina Sylvanas, but your damage might be a little bit inconsistent then. Hard to say. This is one of the things about Jaina, is I feel like she is rather inconsistent in that you can do tons of damage, but it's quite easy for like a Blizzard to miss, or for a Ring of Frost to miss, or you miss a Q because they travel slowly. It's quite I feel like it's very easy for things to go wrong with her, and this is why I feel like Jaina actually isn't all that good compared to other heroes, because you got such long cooldown. Like, Blizzard's a 15-second cooldown. It's mega long, and like you can miss it in a team fight. Like, even if you're playing really well, you can easily miss it just through like a small mistake here or there. It's very easy for it to go slightly wrong, or a little bit of a knockback, or anything could happen. So that's what I feel that does. It is a little bit of a drawback overall, I would say. This ends up being a real bad move. You can see I'm trying to lurk back. I'm trying to keep Blizzard here as a zoning tool, and also keep that longer cooldown. But you can see we've got 2 teammates are in the mines. We are getting wrecked here. I'm just trying to do as much damage as possible. And there you can see like kind of Jaina in a sort of a best case scenario, in terms of we just did a whole ton of damage using Icy Veins and blasting stuff out. 40 there's an Ancestral. But yeah, definitely getting caught out there. It was a bad idea to attempt that Merc camp, for sure. We just didn't have teammates in position, whereas the enemy team were all quite close. This may be the great escape. The great escape of Malthael. No, probably not. Yeah, no, he's dead. He gonna die. Yeah, he has the poison spear from Sonya ticking away, and he does go down. Artanis is very, very keen to do the mines. He's very keen to do the mines. This is an interesting thing about the map, though, with Jaina, is you don't actually need to do the mines that much. Just generally speaking, on Haunted Mines, there's a very powerful... I should have picked up that globe, whoops. There's a very, very powerful playstyle which is more focused on simply doing merc camps and creating constant pressure, because the mercs do a lot of damage to structures when they get close. Those sappers, really strong. So, and they also have a very fast respawn time, so you can totally play around the map, just creating pressure with the mercs and pushing them in and having the mercs do damage, and then using your opportunities when the enemy team has to go back to fight those mercs. Then you can go in and then you can fight over the mines and whatever you want to do. But kind of finding those like little bits of rhythm and that sort of stuff. So here we're looking for this. This camp's about to respawn. This camp is super valuable. I mean, we could go in and try to fight the enemy, but by the time we get there, they'll pretty much have destroyed that golem. It's kind of risky. This is pretty nice because this will have a push in towards that keep. If we could destroy this keep before... it would be super valuable to destroy this keep before the enemy golem spawns, because we destroy the keep, we're going to have catapults to try help us defend, which is going to be relatively important now. Sonya is diving in on top of us, very rude. We drop in a ring again. We're just kind of scared because ETC's coming in. Again, using the ring as something of a counter to the, oh my god, or Tannis, excuse me, actually survives. So close. Using the ring as kind of a counter engage to the ETC. That was the idea there. Rhaegar gets hunted down as well, and this is a really, really big deal. We definitely want to guide these sappers in and try to get this enemy keep down. Our keep is going to die no matter what, pretty much. So might as well get their keep destroyed. We're going to drop Blizzard on it, fire in a Q as well. That should be enough. It's not enough. We got one more Q. There we go. Q and it goes down. At this point, we're going to back up. Oh, this is, oh, nice. It's been a while, a couple of days since I played the game. This is nice, though. Oh, yeah, I like this. Just sacrifice our keep. You're like, yeah, well, it's going to die. We can't really stop it, but we can instead take 2 enemy keeps. Pretty nice. We can maybe even have, like, pushed for the end of the game. Well, not with our Tannis not there. But, yeah, that's great. So now we've got 2 keeps down for the enemy team. That's huge pressure on them in terms of the map. They'll have catapults in 2 lanes now, which should be good for us. Well, maybe we are going to push for the end. You see, I'm not over-engaging here in terms of where the enemy is going. Don't want to get involved with that. Rhaegar goes way too far forwards, get caught in a very bad place, and he goes down. This is pretty huge. Sonya's going for us. She jumps over our cone of cold, gets behind us. She's not able to actually hit us, though. Sonya's so rude. We're going to just hide behind Alarak. Thanks, Alarak, providing us a bit of backup. Our Tannis is still back in core. He's going to help with his laser. Maybe. Doesn't look like it. This is a rather cheeky Ring of Frost for damage on core. Probably a bad idea. Gotta pop into my ice block just to try to stay alive a little bit longer. The core is almost down. We have 2 Siege Giants still there, still attacking. The core has no shields. It's on 13%. We've got no mana, though, as Jaina. We get a Q in on the core. It's on 11%. We're going in for an attack, but Li Ming has picked off 1. Our Tannis still has yet to use the laser beam. He does not want to. 7% on the core. 7% on the core. Mosh pit lands our entire team. Our Tannis, he's almost there now. He's coming. He's coming. Oh, he swaps the enemy. There we go. He swaps and he gets in, and our Tannis last hits the core. Oh my god, the hype is real. That was quite a lot of fun. That was a funny game. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Oh yeah, I actually got MVP as Jaina. That's cool. But yeah, I hope you can see what I mean. Like, I just don't know about Jaina. She's so good against mercs. She absolutely wrecks them. Like, so strong. But I just don't know. She just doesn't stand out to me as being all that good. You can see her hero damage is pretty terrible. It's just very difficult to actually get that stuff down. It's so difficult to actually get a hero damage, and it can go wrong so easily. I feel like a good comparison would be other mages like Kel'Thuzad, who's weaker in the early game, sure. But once Kel'Thuzad gets going, he provides a lot more consistent like kill pressure, and he also absolutely destroys merc camps as well. He's great at pushing. I don't know, or like Kel'Thus, who brings a stun. And again, even these other mages aren't all that amazing in the meta at the moment either. Like, they're not that great. None of the mages are like particularly overwhelming. Or you've got Chromie, who's got a lot more long range poke. She's got more blow up. Shorter cooldowns. I don't know. I've got such mixed feelings about Jaina, but the fact remains that she does nonetheless, and has for the longest time, had this crazy high win rate, and I don't quite know what to make of that. So yeah, there you go. Let me guys know what your thoughts are on Jaina, if any of you played Jaina in Hero League, and what your experiences have been. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next time for some more Heroes of the Storm. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.